everyone, welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders and the PDX Picker channel. I am Chris. We've got some great orders that have sold for me on eBay and Poshmark. We're going to talk about something today that to me is it's a no-brainer, but I know there's a lot of resistance in the reseller community about this. So we'll get into that after pulling a few orders and the intro song, so stick around.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
All right, it is Friday. I'm going to go out sourcing later today. There is an estate sale. It starts in an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm not going to get there right when it opens, which is probably a good thing. I'm sure it's going to be super packed. It's in a really wealthy area of town. It's in Dunthorpe, for those of you that are familiar with the Portland metro region, which is a fancy area, fancy neighborhood where I want to say all the houses are, well, nowadays it's not saying much, but all the houses are $1 million or more. Big houses, and the estate sale looks good. It only runs for 4 hours, starts at 11. Anyway, by the time I get there, probably most of the good stuff will be gone, and frankly, I'm sure it's overpriced anyway. But just gonna head over there and then to my favorite thrift store and call it a day. But I needed to pull some orders that have sold for me. We'll start with some Poshmark orders, and then I think we'll pull the 3 Poshmark orders, and then we'll get into the topic. So stick around; it won't take that long. The first item that sold is a pair of Brooks shoes. Brooks Adrenaline. Right here, these are the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 23. So pretty recent model. I remember cleaning these up and I was super excited with how they turned out. This is what they look like right here. Paid $9.99 for them at my favorite thrift store. They sold for $45. Plus shipping on Poshmark in not too long. It was probably no more than about a month. But they just cleaned up super nice. Even the soles don't look too bad. A lot of tread wear on them. Quick follow-up to, I think it was my previous video, speaking of Poshmark and selling shoes. I had a reminder of probably why people do not sell ski boots on Poshmark. Maybe they do, but they shouldn't. Because I sold a pair of Salomon ski boots. I was worried about the cost to ship them because I knew they were going to be more than 5 pounds. Well, not only was I kind of looked out, to be honest. They ended up being over 10 pounds. So that's right there is a no-no on Poshmark. You just flat out cannot ship anything on Poshmark that weighs more than 10 pounds. Their shipping system won't allow it. So I had to cancel the order. It's probably a good thing, though. If it had weighed between 9 and 10 pounds, I would have had to pay an extra $22 for shipping. So I would have lost most of my profit on those. It was a bummer to cancel the order, but I did relist them on eBay. But yeah, probably not a good idea to sell ski boots, unless I suppose they're kids, but even then those are probably heavy, very heavy and will cost a lot to ship. Probably not a good idea to sell on Poshmark ski boots. This next item that sold, these could have been really good, but the condition I think just contributed to not the best of profits, but it's still a decent one. A pair of Under Armour Valdez, kind of like these combat boot type things. Paid only $5.99 for them. There's a lot of tread wear on the sole, and I think that was the issue. Everything else about these are really nice. These can be like $60, $70, $80 boots. They're in good condition, but I only paid $5.99 and they sold for $25 on Poshmark. Which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, not horrible of a return. Also, didn't take very long to sell. Maybe 2 months. This didn't take long to sell at all. This right here, I went to a thrift store that's not close to me. I wish it was, because they had some good stuff. In fact, 2 of the items that have sold today were from that thrift store. This is a Harris tweed Scottish wool sport coat blazer, however you want to categorize that. Picked this up for only $4.99 at this thrift store. It was normally $9.99. It was 50% off. But let me show you the tag on these. This is it's a really good brand, or a really good feature. I don't know what the term is I'm trying to think of, but you can find this. It's a good pickup. It's a good pickup. Easier said than done with the way this. Sorry, it's hard for me to get, but Harris tweed, hand woven, pure Scottish wool. It's actually a Stafford brand, so I don't know. So Stafford is the company that made it or sold it. I don't know if Harris Tweed is the one that made it. Little confusing. Either way, it doesn't matter. That sold very quickly for $55 plus shipping. Again, about a month. So Harris Tweed, really nice, kind of a bolo for blazers, which I don't normally look at blazers. They're just so many that are not worth anything, but there are a few that have some value, so be on the lookout for those. All right, this is where I'm going with today's topic, which is a lot of people are resistant. A lot of resellers are resistant to selling these items, and what I'm talking about is clothing. I have seen and heard of a lot of people that don't even touch clothing, whether it's at thrift stores or garage sales, and I think perhaps part of the reason why is it's just a little bit boring and there's a little bit of extra work associated with a lot of it. But I am an everything seller. I will look at everything no matter where I go, but I definitely don't shy away from clothing, and this is why almost all of my sales today are clothing related items, whether it be shoes or jackets or whatever it is. And here's why I think it's especially important now and moving forward for you to at least consider adding some clothing to your reselling inventory if you aren't doing it now. Clothing, one great thing about it is, for the most part, it is economy proof, okay? It doesn't really matter what the economy is doing. People still, no matter what, will need to buy clothes. Like anything, when the economy isn't good, clothing prices will also go down. Resale clothing prices will go down. But it's still something that will sell pretty much no matter what. I don't know what the future economy is going to look like. There's some signs that it's bad. There's some signs that it's good. There's some signs that it's going to be more of the same for a while. Prices are still pretty high all the way around. And when you're in the collectible market, when you're in the electronics market, there's a lot of outside factors that can influence pricing. With electronics, you got new models coming in all the time that could disrupt the price that you're getting for electronics. With collectibles, that is a market that's up and down, probably worse than the stock market, just because what's really valuable one year will be terribly unvaluable the next year. I'm thinking of the He-Man Motu figures just off the top of my head. Those prices went down significantly in the past couple of years. Almost everything in the collectibles market went down since the peak of COVID. And also, people are also just likely not going to be spending as much money, discretionarily spending money on things like toys and collectibles, when they are worried about having enough money to put food on the table, right? So that's why I advocate strongly for at least having some clothing in your store, and if not, maybe a majority of it. The one downside to clothing is it doesn't sell quite as well in the summer months. There are just not as many clothing related items that sell in summer. In fall, winter, and spring, you have all sorts of warm weather clothing, jackets, boots, scarves, hats, whatever. All different types of warm weather clothes that people will need to stock up on when it comes to the wintertime. Whereas in the summertime, we're actually shedding clothes, right? We're getting rid of jackets. We just have shorts and t-shirts and flip-flops. So about the only thing that sells well year-round that I've found is shoes. So that's why I heavily focus on shoes myself, because that is definitely that year-round item that no matter what month it is, somebody is going to be buying shoes, whether it's sandals, sneakers in the summer months, or boots, things of that nature in the winter months. I got 6 more items going out, and I think, like I mentioned, all but maybe 1 or 2 are clothing related. But I'm just really curious, if you would, comment below, why are you hesitant or resistant to get into the clothing resale market? Let me know. Maybe there's some sort of tip or trick or something, that process that I can help you with so that you can get over that hump and actually start getting into the clothing resale market. So comment below, what is it that's holding you back? My dogs are going crazy. Our neighbors are in the process of doing a bunch of work in their yard, which means that now my dogs feel that their territory is being encroached upon. So they're barking their heads off at the world for no reason. So if you hear some crazy dogs barking in the background, that is why. Let's get into the eBay orders. I found this for, I think it was $7.50. Where did I put it? There it is. $7.50 at my thrift store, favorite thrift store. I contemplated keeping it. Speaking of clothes, this is a Columbia jacket. It was originally $30 at my thrift store, but it made it to 75% off, and I don't really know why. It's a very nice, it's called the Lotsie Mountain 3 or 2 interchange. So this has both the outer shell and an inner shell, like a puffer jacket on the inside. So it's really warm. It's, there's 3 different options that you can wear it. So it's a great jacket. I don't know why I'm giving a sales pitch for that jacket, but picked that up for, I guess because I was surprised that nobody else bought it is the reason why I'm talking it up so much. But paid $7.50 for it, and it sold for $55 plus shipping. I just finally listed it about 2 weeks ago, and that's about how long it took to sell. I do have it confirmed. So there's only one non-clothing item. This pair of shoes is really, really nice pickup. I'm very happy about this one. I'm actually not familiar with a lot of good resale Adidas models, but this one definitely is. This is an Adidas Ultra Boost, and picked this up for $12.99 at Goodwill. The condition on them was the main reason why I really looked them up to begin with, because like I said, I just don't know a lot of good Adidas resale models, but the condition was so good, and just took a teeny bit of cleaning. These almost were brand new. These are like brand new, about $200. And these sold for $99.99 plus shipping. These are going to be authenticated, so they'll be sent off via FedEx to an authenticator. I have no reason to think that they aren't authentic, but you just never know. So fingers crossed that they are, but if they are, that's a great sale, $100. The one non-clothing item is another set of casters. These are the furniture casters I bought. This whole box here that I have marked casters. Actually, I have an additional one that's the same size. Paid $1 for that whole box, and inside is 20 sets of these. So I have 40 total sets of these that I paid 5 cents each. Just these furniture casters here. Nothing exciting. But this is a quantity listing, sold for $20.90, free shipping. I think that's the 4th set of those that I've sold. It's going to take a long time to get through them all, but it's all profit at this point. So, quantity listings are also a great thing to be on the lookout for when you are sourcing, just because it's one listing, set it and forget it. Just have the money come in slowly over time. I love it. I paid up for these. What box are these? Box 12. Well, I paid $20 for them, but it was pretty obvious quick sale. It's a pretty obvious quick decision on me for whether or not to actually buy them. These are new without the box, so that's what made it a pretty simple decision. They are Ultra, which is, I just started selling Ultra maybe 3 months ago, and this is probably my 8th or 9th pair that I have sold, so I love reselling Ultras now. ALTRA, really good model. These are the Timp Hiker Gore-Tex boots, new without the box. These are like $190 new, but I sold these for $100 plus shipping, and again, not very long, maybe a month on those. So there on the back it says Timp GTX. I don't know what Timp is referring to, but anyway, so we've got $200 shoes going out the door today. We have a $45 pair, $25 pair. So shoes are money makers. I love love selling shoes. They're really not that difficult to clean or photograph or anything like that. So if anyone's interested in a shoe tutorial, I could put one of those together. It's kind of a niche video that isn't always going to get a lot of views, but if you're interested, comment below and I'll think about doing it in the future. This is the second item that I got at that new thrift store, new to me thrift store, just in a different part of town. It's like a 40-minute drive, so not something I would regularly do, but this is a vintage Pendleton wool men's vest. Just a simple gray color, so I was a little bit nervous that it was going to get lost in the shuffle because it was kind of a boring color. But this blue tag, Pendleton tag, that means it was made, it's vintage, made in the 90s or 80s or 90s, maybe the 70s, but usually 80s or 90s, and these are very popular nowadays. So I paid $8.99 for this, and it sold for $24.99 plus shipping. So profit not as nearly as good as the Harris Tweed jacket. I thought the Pendleton might sell sooner than the Harris Tweed, but they happen to sell on the same day. Last item of the day, kind of a sign we must be getting close to summer. Of course, I forgot what box it's in. I thought it said 17. Yeah, oh, it did say 17, but I didn't see it in there. Maybe it's buried, because this is something that is sold in my sale. Yep, it was just a little bit buried. So, it's a nice pair of bonobos shorts. That's what it looks like here. This is the tag. I picked those up at the Goodwill outlet, so they're about £1, so I paid about $2.13 for these, and it took a while to sell, but that's because it's been winter for a while, right? But they did sell for $16.11 plus shipping. So Bonobos is a pretty decent brand. I think this color was a good colorway. It's like a salmon-ish type of thing. Yeah, I called it salmon, so hopefully it is. Anyway, so there are a few good shorts resale brands. I'm not really great on those, though, so I'm going to do my best to start trying to learn more and more what are good shorts. And I know a few, I don't know why I'm doing this, but polo shirts that are good resale brands, but I just don't come across them very often in my market at all. But nonetheless, like I said, 8 out of 9 items that sold for me over the past 2 days were clothing related. Why are you not in the clothing resale market? It's definitely worth it. That's going to do it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to the PDX Posse member, HarleyGal143, for being my OG member. If you liked this video, please consider liking it as well as subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Good luck with your reselling ventures out there. We will catch you on the next video. Take care.